mind class today, you're going to need a mat for when we come to the floor. I actually suggest maybe not using a mat for the first part where we're standing, because I would like you to find that really firm grip on the ground. Unless you have carpet and it's a little bit unstable, then maybe put a mat down to flatten out your space. If you have a therapy tube, like one of these big, long, stretchy bands, or a yoga strap, you can use that today. A yoga strap will work. You're just going to have to kind of slide your hands on it without getting rug burn. But if you have a tube like this, it's really stretchy. We're going to be moving like this with it. So if you do have this, you can always pause me, go grab it and come back. But I think I put in notes like equipment for today, but not everybody reads that, so I totally understand that. If you don't have something like this, that is okay. You can still do class. You'll just do it. Same thing we're doing, just imaginary band, no band, and you'll be doing the same thing with your arms. It'll just be no band, no tool, okay? If you would like something soft for your knees, we will be kneeling later, so the things that you need for class are those. Water, probably a sweat towel, maybe a sweat towel, I don't know. And then today's word is, and I swear I just pulled it randomly, it's just kind of coincidental, I'll take that as a good luck sign today. I am mindful for mind class. I understand the impact my energy has on the world. So let's bring some good energy today. I'm going to start our timer. We're starting standing. And you're going to start with this tube, with this band, let's say band, in your hands. Start your watches if you're tracking. Toes forward, just about hip width, maybe wider. And we're just going to hold the band nice and like loose right about here, okay? And allow yourself, we're going to reach up and over, just stretch and pull down. I wasn't even sure if I'd be able to do this, but this band is really loose. So if you have a yoga strap, you just get to slide your hands as you come up and then down, kind of allow your arms to slide on the band so that you're not straining anything, okay? So we're basically just going up and overhead, reaching, pulling down and back, coming up and overhead, hinging forward, okay? Your grip, the amount that you're stretching is up to you, okay? So if you need to make it stretchier or looser, you decide. Does that make sense? What do I want to say? If you want to have more resistance or tension or release the tension, you just change your hand placement, okay? And that's going to be pretty much for the whole class with this tubing. Now, if you don't have the tube, you're just reaching up and over, down and back, and then same, okay? So here, arms forward. If you don't have a tube, you're just gonna open up, rotate, rotate. Then we're gonna release in the center. Open up T, rotate, rotate. Now you see, this is coming right at my chest and not at my throat, so make sure that you're holding your arms out and down. Don't hurt yourself, please. And likewise, if the band is like snapping, make sure you don't have any tears or anything in your band. You don't want it to snap. Try not to let go of it. It is like a rubber band. So I'll show you without the band. It's just here to here, come center. Okay. Last week we did this whole class without the band. You guys know that a lot of times I'll do that, do it with a tool, without a tool, so you can see, you can do it both ways. Okay. All right, reaching up overhead. We're going to pull down behind our shoulder blades, and then we're going to take a side, actually let's not bend our knee, let's just take a side bend, I like that better, okay? So reach up overhead, pull down like you're doing a pull-up behind your back, side bend, side bend. So what does this look like without the loop? Pull down, side bend, okay? Without the band, the loop, the band. If you have a really stretchy loop, you could do it with a loop. It doesn't have to be one of these loopless bands. I think pretty much everybody has something like this. I would love to say use a towel, but a towel doesn't stretch. I actually have a big ballet band, but it's too tight. The resistance would be too intense. All right, arms come up. You're going to keep one up overhead, the other one's going to come behind your back, okay? And then we're going to kind of shift side, side, switch, and shift side to side and switch. So what does this look like without a band? Okay, same thing. And if you're like, oh, I have one of those, it's just not near me and I don't feel like using it today, you could always come back to this class with the tube. I will tell you, having done last week's class without it and this week's class so far, just with the few moves we've done, there's a difference. I can feel it. So if you do have one and you don't have it with you today, I suggest coming back to this class and using it, okay? All right, this is gonna come behind our backs again, kind of put it right there in the middle of your back, okay? Loosen it up just enough so we can go handlebars up and down. Handlebars up and down. So mine's tucked just under my rib cage and it stays there. If it starts coming out from under your rib cage, lower it just a little bit and hopefully then when it rolls up, it'll catch. If not, this works too, okay? All right, let's add in handlebar squat right here. So when the fists are facing forward, squat. We go up, center, squat. All right, release the tube. It's going straight down in front of us. We're gonna do a little roll here. So tuck your chin, round your neck. Now round your shoulders. Draw your belly button in, round your spine. Go ahead and roll to the ground. Just as far as your body allows you, and then you're gonna roll back up in reverse, same thing. One vertebrae at a time. Shoulders, neck, head, and do it again, okay? So tuck your chin, round at the top, roll down. Come back on up, one vertebrae at a time. Shoulders, neck, head. It's always in that order, okay? Don't lift your neck first, your head first. That's your last thing to do. Come up out of it nice and slow, take your time. Okay. You're gonna wrap one foot. You're gonna hold it either with one hand or two. If you need something for balance, hold on to something for balance, we're gonna kick back a little bit and swing up. Now, if you have a resistance tube, you can use your arm to help kind of on the upswing. If you don't have one, you're gonna do the same thing. You're just gonna kick, swing through, kick, squeeze your glute, swing through, kick. Now what I don't wanna see is your body like swinging back and forth, okay? I want you to try to stabilize yourself, glute to quad and hip, okay? That's what we're working here. So again, if you need to hold on to something, I am. I don't want to knock myself over. And if you're like, I have great balance today, I'm going to work on this without my balance, then go for it. Go ahead and switch legs. So loop the arch of your foot. Hold the band with one hand or two. So if you're just like, I can do this, no problem. Like kick back. I'm going to try it with 2 hands. 1 hand. Go for it. And if you need to hold on to something, hold on to something. So again, this week doing this with the resistance tube, feel like I'm gonna add a little bit more. Just stretch at the top here. A little extra resistance on my glute as I kick back. My core is engaged. Think about drawing in your belly button. As soon as we take our leg long in the frontal plane, right in front of us, we're engaging our core. And as you squeeze your glute, you're engaging your core, okay? So this is like standing core work, isn't that lovely? Switch feet again, back to the starting foot. Now we've got lateral or side leg lifts, okay? So this is just gonna be a little bit of resistance add it if you have the tube. If you have no tube, you're just going to point your toe to me. So your foot's flat and flexed. It never actually touches the ground when you flex your foot, hopefully. As you come in, lift, squeeze, lift, squeeze. Now we've got an oblique engaged. As we draw our belly button in, we've got our hip kind of reaching towards our rib cage, outer hip working. Flatten out, flex your foot. I think it's pretty intuitive when you have the strap around your foot that it's flat and flexed right now, but I'll still remind you anyways. Tall through your posture, shoulders out of your ears. If you want to tighten up your grip and resistance, you can. Let's switch sides. Same thing, just other foot. Find a place where you want to hold the resistance tube. If you don't need to hold on to anything, don't hold on to anything. Maybe try a couple. I tried a couple, I'll try a couple more. This is my better balanced leg, so let's see. Find a focal point. Root your foot into the ground. Shoulders stacked over your hips so we're not turning sideways, okay? Everything's very centered, except for your leg. Both legs should be warm. Remember when I said grab that sweat towel? You might break a sweat. This is a lot of work today and a little less flexibility. Go ahead and shake everything off. You got 15 seconds to transition. Now everything's like warm, your joints are all mobile, okay? We're gonna work a little bit more on balance. Okay, so first thing, loop or no loop, arms up overhead. Plant your left leg in the ground. Your right leg's gonna come up. And we're gonna hold right here. So, draw your shoulders down and back, squeeze your shoulder blades together. You've got a little resistance in this tube. It actually is helpful right now. If you have no tube, you've got you, yourself, and you. Arms straight up overhead if you have no tube. Biceps by your ears, fingertips pointing to the ceiling. Try to pull your knee up to about hip height. Draw your belly button in, slight bend in your standing leg, root yourself into the floor. If you fall over, fix yourself and come back. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze your butt cheek, draw your abs in. Remember that break the sweat right about here. Find your balance, fight for it, fight for it, fight for it, and release. Okay, arms are gonna come down this time. Same thing, we're on one leg. Our back leg is, or this leg that was up front is now coming back. Bend it. We're going to hinge forward like we're doing a warrior 3 or a runner's balance hinge, okay? Just a bent leg instead of a straight leg. You know, warrior 3 we straighten out. Today, for our purposes, we're bending our back knee, hinging at the hips. Let me show you side profile, and I'm going to show you the what to do and what not to do. So I want your hips and your shoulders facing the ground as you come down. A tendency might be to open your hip. Okay, you just heard mine pop. I want you to keep your hips facing the ground, chest facing the floor, okay? Use this resistance tube as like your anchor to draw you to the floor and then rise back up. All right, shake it off. We're gonna keep this leg moving, so keep your left leg on the floor, okay? We're gonna lunge, rotate, step up, stay on the same leg, lunge, rotate. Very familiar to us. Find your balance and rotate. And I'm gonna ask you to kind of do both at one time, okay? As we're coming back, we're already starting to rotate. And if that's too much stabilization for you, if you really are like falling over, then lunge, pause, and rotate. If you can, I want you to try to do it a little more fluidly. Does that make sense? So this whole time our right leg's doing the movement. We had it in front of us, we had it behind us, we now have it behind us. Guess what's happening next? we're gonna put it in front of us, okay? So now we're going right leg forward, overhead reach, bend both knees, push off your heel, come back, okay? Forward, overhead reach, push back. If this is too intense or too much of a forward movement, you feel like, oh, I'm feeling in my knee, you can always do a rear lunge, or just don't come down as far. Maybe just come up higher and do the arch and the reach up with your arms. Does that make sense? If you're doing the full lunge, lunge forward far, bend your knee, push off your heel. Straight arms. If you have no resistance to, you're taking your arms straight up overhead, biceps by the ears. Heart rates are up. One more. We went forward and back. Let's go side. Okay. Arms up overhead. Side lunge, bend, come back to center. Side lunge, bend, come back to center. Side lunge, bend. So we did this last week. It's a little uncomfortable without the tube. Okay? You can do it. And then here's another option. Side lunge, bend. Okay? So either arms are up and you sway, come back, or just keep your arms in narrow and tight. And even with the tube, if it's not comfortable with your arms up overhead, you can always hold it closer to your chest. But you will feel your obliques. Last week I said this, I go, there's so much core work in this particular routine. All right, switching to the other side. Are you ready for it? Overhead hold. So now this leg that's been moving forward and back and side is going to stabilize us. We're going to take our arms up overhead. Create a little tension in the loop. Draw your shoulder blades down and back, shoulders out of your ears, so long neck. Knee up about hip height. Squeeze your glutes, pull your belly button in. Grow an inch. Nice and tall through your spine. Root your standing foot into the ground. Find your focal point. Worst case right now, you've got a little toe holding you in place. Okay, but I'd like you to try to float it and work your knee up to hip height, bending at 90 degrees. Tall, tall, tall. I think the tube helps, that resistance helps us grow a little bit taller. Two and one. Release. Shake it off for a second. Arms come down. Bend your leg. Hinge forward. Remember, this is just like a runner's balance. You know, when we're runner's balance like this, we're just hinging forward a little bit more than we do when we're in runner's balance. Keep working on finding your center. Proud spine, so it's nice and long. Arms go straight down, like you're about to pick something up. It's just like a warrior three. You just have a bent knee in the back, okay? Same hip hinge, slight bend in your knee, bury your big toe into the floor, bury your heel into the floor, feel your arch pressing into the ground, rooting yourself. And then that same leg is going to come into a reverse lunge as you rotate. Rise, twist. So we get a little bit of a leg workout here today too. Ooh. While we're moving pretty quickly, I want controlled movement still. Abs drawn in, twisting through your torso. All right, we went front, back. Back again. So we're going front again. This time, taking that back leg through forward, press into your heel, lifting overhead, press into your heel. Now, if you were like, I got really good balance, I got this move down, you can even take it a little further, arch up, look at the ceiling, okay? Just make sure your knee placement is right before you do that. Push off your heel. And remember, if it's too much, just take a more shallow, higher lunge forward. Don't come down as deep. You can also tap forward and reach if it really bothers your knee, okay? I want you to make your modifications and adjustments for yourself. We've gone back and front. So this is your last front. Get ready for side. On this way this time, okay? So side, side bend, push off your heel, come center. Side lunge, side bend, center. This is an uncomfortable movement. For me at least, maybe it's fine for you. So again, if you need to pull your hands in, maybe pull your extremities closer to you, make it feel a little bit more compact and a little less loose and crazy, okay? We got obliques. Again, after this, we will head into our flexibility. So now that your heart rate is up and you're nice and warm, and I am breaking a little sweat, a little glistening, a little sparkly, we're doing work. We will be coming down to a kneeling position next. Okay, so something soft for your knees. We'll be kneeling and sitting for the remainder of our class, okay? So I've got this soft for my knees. I got these if I need them. Okay, we're going to take, let's go right leg forward, left leg back. Let's start that way. We're going to try to loop. We have plenty of time to set up, by the way, so just watch for a second and then I will get us going. Okay, okay, so loop, loop underneath your leg. We're going to try to slide it back towards our foot. Okay, see what I just did there? I looped our foot, and then I'm going to take it nice and up and over my shoulder. Hopefully your foot is looped, okay? And we're going to hold it right here, pulling our heel towards our butt and stretching our calf. Go. As you feel comfortable, you're going to keep kind of choking up on the grip of your band and pull it a little bit closer, a little bit closer. Whew. Widen your stance with your opposite foot, so walk it out a little bit if you feel like you're losing balance. Oh, that's better. Tilt your hip towards your forward just a little bit, tuck your tailbone under. Isn't that something? Look at yourself right now. Holy wow. Everything is shaking as we're stretching. That's okay. Abs drawn in. Breathe. We're here for 15 more seconds. Stay with me. If you need an arm out for balance, pull that heel towards your butt. Maybe just for the last 10. Extra, extra, extra. All right, release. Take your time now. We're going to switch to the other leg. So same thing. You might want to just kind of lay that loop down, put your leg there. So you just crossed over it. Get it towards the foot. Oops. Half kneel. Strap in one hand. Up and over your shoulder. Help your spine. Open up this front leg a little bit if you need to. So you go wider base. Shoulders stacked over your hips. Hips are facing forward. I actually really like this. This feels really good today. Challenging position to get into just because of the strap. But otherwise this is actually pretty good. Okay. I like that you can add or decrease the help of the band. Okay. You can either loosen up on it, or you can choke up on it, get a little better grip and pull that heel closer to your butt. Tilt your tailbone under, hip forward just a little bit. Feel that great stretch through the hip flexor in the front of your quad. Wow, I like it. 8 more seconds, we're almost there, you're doing great. All right, release, let's get to our backs. We're gonna put the strap around the foot again. Actually, I lied. Let's go to straddle and hold the tubing arm to arm. We're gonna reach forward to one foot and then forward to the other foot. I'm gonna come sideways so my feet aren't cut off the camera. So tall through the center, side, reaching, laying your belly button on your thigh as you're going for your toe, opposite hand, opposite foot. Toes are going to the ceiling, so they're flexed and flat, not pointed. Toes are reaching up. One more. Now lay on your back, strap one leg, one foot. And we're gonna do like we did in the beginning, except now we're on our back. So you can either bend your leg that's not looped or straighten it. We're going to release and lift. Release and lift. So I'm going to add a little extra resistance and pull a little bit more with my opposite hand here. Grab and pull as we come up. Maybe I'll do a little bit more on the way down too. Okay, so play around with this for the flexibility part of your leg, okay? Does that make sense? So like, if you're like, I can stretch a little bit more, then grab that tube, pull it a little closer to you. Again, it's like choking up on it. Now we're in the flexibility section of class. All right, go ahead and hold on to the tube with 2 hands. Rock yourself forward. Tall through your spine, and then I'm going to have you dip and kind of roll back, and then come tall through your spine, kind of tuck your chin, round, roll back. Now if you don't have the tube, you can always hold on to the back of your thigh and do the little roll back, okay? Get a little back massage here. So we want our spine to round when we come down, but we're tall for our posture here. And then round, roll, allow your spine to round so you can roll comfortably on it. Some of you are like, this isn't comfortable. Do what you can or stay in that hamstring stretch. Let's switch legs. So loop the other foot. The unlooped foot can either be bent or straight. We've got this leg up. Allow it to come down and up, down and up. And again, if you want to add extra resistance, choke up on the tubing. Leg is straight, foot is flexed. You're holding that loop in the arch, okay? If you do not have a strap, you can still lower and catch either your calf or your thigh at the top, hold it for a second, and then release, okay? I should have told you during the quad stretch you're using your hands in that strap, but I think you figured that out. I hope you did. All right, getting ready to rock and roll a little bit here, okay? So, on this one, rock yourself up, tall through your spine, then curve and allow your body to rock, just like a wheel. Keep your chest out at the top, shoulders down and back. That's how you get that tall, proud posture, okay? And then tuck. So having done this with and without a strap, I'd say that I prefer the band. if you have an opportunity to do it with the band, please do. Because next week, I think we switch up to a different routine anyways. I try to do 2 weeks and then switch it. Sometimes we end up 3 weeks if I really like something, but there's only so many routines. And some of them require, well, actually, the newest one I think has a resistance band too, so. All right, last thing we're gonna do, bring your feet in, bend your knees, they're wide, your knees are wide. Arms are gonna come up overhead. We're gonna swivel hip so that one knee is driving down towards the ground on the inside, and then you're gonna switch and drive the other knee down to the ground on the inside. So we're just making a swivel here, nice and wide, arms up overhead. The newest class does have a band, I think. I think it's like the second band class. The moves are a little more complicated. I'm gonna have to look at it and see. So I remember looking at it once and going like, I don't think so. So maybe I should give it a second look. All right, one more, hold it here. Whatever side you need to finish on it, hold it right here so that you're evened out. Release the tubes. Knees come back to center. Rock yourself up to sit. Take a nice big inhale. Then exhale. Wow. What a class. I hope that you feel amazing right now. That was a lot of really interesting, different work. So a way to be mindful and show up. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll see you back here tomorrow. We have hit 20, so get ready to move. Thanks for coming. Bye.